In breaking news just coming in, Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has warned that long peace is declining as the world is entering into uncertain and fractured order. Well, he was speaking at a defence and security conclave where General Dwivedi painted a picture of escalating global instability, urging India to fortify its defences against hybrid threats from state and non-state actors alike. The Army Chief also said that years of reforms and readiness during Operation Sindoor translated into decisive outcomes. Now, for our viewers who are just joining us, this is the latest we're getting. Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has warned that long peace is declining as the world is entering into uncertain and fractured order.
Now, this trajectory has further been strengthened when Honorable Raksha Mantri designated year 2025 as the year of reforms and proved its merit in Op Sindoor, where years of reform and readiness translated into decisive outcomes. So, as we carry this sovereign strategic success forward for future operations and the larger aspirations of Sashakt, Surakshit and Viksit Bharat, the real question before us is, what must propel our next leap?
All right, and for more on this, WION's Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us live on this broadcast. Now, Siddhant, what can you tell us? Also, tell us about the significance of this statement that's just come in from General Dwivedi.
Well, important comment by the Indian Armed Forces Chief, the Army Chief, basically, and painting a grim picture essentially as to how the world order has come from bipolar to unipolar briefly and now towards a fractured world order, and essentially how there are conflicts. He gave a number of 50 global conflicts and of course expressed worries over the global situation. But his aim was highlighting that was to point out the reason why the Indian Armed Forces is rapidly taking moves for modernization, for deterrence at a time of this fragile situation, and also emphasized on Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is Make in India policy of manufacturing defense equipments in India. In fact, India is trying to also make sure that it becomes a major exporter of defense equipments. In fact, even as the Indian Army Chief has made that comment, we know that the Indonesian Defence Minister is here in Delhi and he held talks with the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and we know that there are conversations of export of BrahMos missiles to Indonesia. We know that India has already had a deal with the Philippines, and during the meeting we saw the model of BrahMos being gifted by the Indian Defence Minister to the Indonesian Defence Minister. But all in all, the clear picture is that the world is at a state of fractured affairs. India needs to up its capabilities, its defense requirements, and reduce dependencies on the foreign countries and make sure that it becomes an exporter of defense equipments.
Right, of course. Thanks, Siddhant, for getting us those key takeaways. That was our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, joining us from New Delhi.